If you like what you see, why don't you think about subscribing? And make sure to check out my channel for videos just like this.
What's going on, folks? It's MrBucketlist here, and today I'll be showcasing everything on Odyssey of the Seas. Let's check it out. Whether you're new to my channel or returning, first I just want to say welcome. This will be a complete showcase to everything on this cruise ship. So essentially what I do is I start from the bottom deck and I go to each and every deck and show every area is fully narrated. I show things like the theater, like the main dining room, a cabin tour, a balcony cabin tour, the pool deck, and all the above. Now before we get started with the tour, I do want to say there will be timestamps in the description, so if you do want to jump around to the different sections of the video, please have at it. Secondly, I did do a full documentary / review of this cruise and this cruise ship, so if you want to see that, that's a different video. It is one of my best videos I've done out of my 1,000 videos, so please check it out. It's a really good video. You'll really like it. And then lastly, I will say that I will be speaking very highly of this cruise ship. I've been on about 29 different cruises as of the recording of this video, and I've been on about 27 different cruise ships out of those 29 cruises. So I don't really repeat cruise ships that often, and this is hands down one of my favorite cruise ships. If a chance came up to repeat this cruise ship, I'd probably do it. That's how much I enjoyed it. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and let's get to it. All right, let's get this tour started. So here we are in the elevator. First, I just want to say that this is not one of the smart elevators. You can make a selection on which floor you want to go to when you get inside. On Icon and other new cruise ships, they have the smart elevators where you can only make a selection on the outside. It's not the case here, so don't worry about that. This does lead to the main dining room. And I will say that this is probably one of my favorite main dining rooms on Royal Caribbean cruise ships. They all look very similar, but for some reason this one just looks really elegant. And I love this entranceway with the LED panels and the flowers and stuff like that. That does change throughout the cruise. It's just really nice. I mean, as you all can see, this ship is beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful cruise ship. Again, Royal Caribbean, they always take very good care of all their different cruise ships. So this thing is just, it's fabulous. I don't use that word often, but it's definitely fabulous. It's fantastic. It is beautiful. And then that's your check-in desk when you first get there. Now we're going to head to Casino Royale. So this is the main casino on the cruise ship. Again, as I always state, I have never gambled on the cruise ship. So for me, I can't really say if it's amazing, stuff like that. I can only talk about the size because I have seen pretty much every casino on every cruise ship that I've been on. So it is a fairly good size for this cruise ship. As you all kind of see throughout this video, so even though the Quantum Plus class isn't the biggest in the fleet, I mean the Oasis class and Icon class are a lot bigger, it doesn't matter. They pack a lot into this cruise ship in the space that they have. I can honestly say that this class is probably my favorite class, and ironically I have done more Oasis class cruise ships than I have Quantum class. I've only done 2, but even then I still thoroughly enjoy this layout. It just feels like it has that personal vibe to it, but at the same time, it still has so many different spaces versus Oasis class and Icon ships. They feel like an entire city, so it feels huge. You may not see the same person twice. It's just really big. This Quantum class does not have that feeling, at least to me. Going back to the hotel. So again, you have your ATM right here. You have the host station, things like that. Again, it's a fairly good size, and it has a good variety when it comes to casinos on this cruise ship. Now, like I always like to state, I do record this very early in the morning. Around this time, it was about 4:30 in the morning, so that's the reason why I'm doing this. Please do not go and record in the casino if you see people playing and stuff like that. Now, heading on to the music hall. So this is pretty much an all Royal Caribbean ships now. One of my favorite spots to go to. They usually have some type of rock or just a band in general. Sometimes they'll have disco and things like that. It really just depends on the cruise and the day of the cruise. But again, I love this. It's like a mixture of a bar / a live venue type of space. And it gets packed. It gets really packed depending on the actual performance they have in there. So keep that in mind. But either way, it's nice. They have bars on both levels. It's just 2 levels. They have a bar downstairs, a bar upstairs. The layout is going to be different depending on what ship you're on. Again, on the Quantum class and Quantum Plus class, they're pretty much the same as far as the layout. Either way, I thoroughly enjoy it. As you can see, just a nice pan of the stage and stuff like that, the dance floor. And everything's first come, first serve. Pretty much everything on this cruise ship outside of the casitas they have on the pool deck are pretty much first come, first serve. So that's one thing I do like about Royal Caribbean. Outside of the shows, they really don't have many VIP areas, like I said, outside that place on the pool deck and that. But for shows in here, it's first come, first serve. So just get here early if you want to get a good seat. And again, the bar area up here as well. I really, really love this venue. It's probably one of my favorite type of club or bar areas on a cruise ship. And like I said earlier in the opening, I will be praising this cruise ship a lot. I mean, you all can see why. I mean, it's just a beautiful cruise ship, and it's just, I mean, this is just the start, but there's so much more to it that you all will see. So this is the Royal Theater, and this is another thing that I like about this class of cruise ship. So not only do they have this Royal Theater, but then they also have Club 270, which is also a theater as well. So I mean, it's just so many different venues on this cruise ship to see entertainment, to do stuff, just to get away or just to get out your room. It's really well done, again, for the space and size that they have on this cruise ship. Now, walking through this way, this is pretty much going to head to like the shops and things of that nature. And then also your photo studios right here as well. Of course, since it was early in the morning, it was closed, I couldn't walk in here. But all the different shops and stuff like that, if you want to come by, if you're into shopping on a cruise ship, this is definitely for you. And then just think about, again, on cruise ships, they do have the duty-free stores and stuff like that, so no taxes and things like that. And they may have sales going on. So just think about that. Sometimes they will make announcements over the PA system saying, hey, we got a sale going on, so come to this shop or whatever. Or if you go to particular shops, they may give you like some type of little gift or whatever. So again, just kind of, if you're into that, definitely, like I said, just kind of listen out, look at your flyers and daily compass and things like that. And this is unboxed right here. I'm not really sure what this is for. But it's kind of crazy because, I mean, not only do they have their main, of course, the Royal Promenade, but they also have this as well. So, and this is unique to this class of cruise ship where they just have all these different, just kind of, I don't know how to say it, like kind of pockets of space where they just kind of fill it to like have venues and shops. They just have a lot of just additional space. Now, this is the Crown and Compass pub. This is a different type of venue. This usually has like more alternative and more like people with like a guitar or maybe people with a, it's just more low-key alternative type of music. This place does get packed, especially when someone's in there singing, so keep that in mind. This is a place just to kind of chill, to hear some acoustic music and just different chill vibe. And then this performer that performs here, it also rotates as well, just so keep that in mind. Okay, so now we are on to the main. This would essentially be the atrium for other ships, but this is the Royal Promenade. So when you first board this cruise ship, and then also when you're getting off for excursions and things like that, this area will be packed. And even like early in the morning, like, well, not this early, but like I would say around like 7 or 8 o'clock, you'll see a line of people trying to get coffee and stuff like that. I'll show the Starbucks in a little bit. And at night, when the club is going on, you'll see people coming here to get pizzas and stuff. So again, just kind of be aware. This is pretty much where all the main activity happens when it's not going on in the pool deck. And then, like most Royal Caribbean cruise ships, if not all, it does have a Coke freestyle machine. So if you have the drink package that includes that, there you go. Sorrento's pizza, that is included, that is complimentary. So if you want to get some pizza, there you go. And then this is the Starbucks I was talking about here. So as I put in my previous video, if you all haven't watched that, if you have a Starbucks card or gift card or anything like that, that does not work on these cruise ships. It is completely separate. And right here is Cafe Promenade. So all this is actually included. Nothing is upcharged in here. The fruit, the pastries, the coffee, anything, you just pretty much made to order, or you can ask for them to warm it up or whatever. Friendly little guest right there. Friendly employee, excuse me. I really love that place as well, just to kind of get a quick breakfast if you don't want to go to like the buffet or the dining hall. Boleros. This is the Latin club that's on every Royal Caribbean cruise ship. I'm not a huge fan of this place, but they do keep it nice looking. And then those little black tents that you see, so they usually have like art sales and stuff like that, art auctions in all their cruises, so you'll see that pretty much. And then this is the top level. Well, this is one of the top levels of the dining hall. So it all connects. Again, it was 3 stories and always connects at the very end. And right here is guest services. So they actually, even though you can sell this line, it could potentially get pretty long, this guest services on this cruise ship was actually pretty speedy. I never really saw like a long wait. I would see a long line, but it would move pretty quickly. So just kind of keep that in mind. Like, so this cruise ship, as far as the operations, the look, the feel, everything about it is just very nice. Okay, so just walking by, checking out some more shops. You got an ATM right there if you need to get some money out or whatever. USD only, so no foreign currencies. Then we have the shop, which is Royal Caribbean's brand shop. So if you want like a Royal Caribbean t-shirt or a mug or something like that, there you go. And then the stairs. So if you want your stairway shots, it'll be right here. They'll have someone like a photographer stand at the end of it, and you'll see like a line of people taking stairwell shots. Usually on the elegant night. Depends on how long your cruise is, what night that's going to be on. But that's where you'll be doing it at right here. And that leads up to the short excursions. So they do, like most cruise ships, have the little tablets. So for example, if you want to do an excursion, but you don't want to do it via your phone or your laptop, and the person's not there, like the guest attendant's not there to take care of your order, you can do it on that tablet. A Bionic Bar. So as far as this bar, this is something that I'm pretty much trying to phase out, if I'm not mistaken, because it's so expensive. But it is cool. At least, well, it's a good novelty. At least try out one time. Pretty much, if you're not familiar with this, these are the robot arms that pretty much make a drink for you. You just select what you want, and then they'll go ahead and put it together, and they'll just kind of show you the steps that it's going through on the side, where you can see like a little timer and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And right here is where you actually choose your drink and things like that. It tells you all your little steps and the options that it has. It's pretty cool. Now, one thing about this cruise ship I really like, and this kind of goes for most cruise ships, but this one in particular, it has a lot of different themes of like art and stuff like that, but it's more modern and high-tech art. When this class first came out, the Quantum class, it was Royal Caribbean's most technologically advanced cruise line. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied. Cruise ship, and that was with the first Quantum class cruise ship. Now, of course, they have the Quantum Plus class, which is the Odyssey of the Seas, and it really does have some really nice high tech. And of course, now because they have Icon the Seas, they're kind of merging this tech with Icon, so it's almost all the same thing now. But still, either way, this is still one of the state-of-the-art cruise ships. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed this cruise ship. I'll be honest with you all. I don't have a single complaint about this cruise or this cruise ship. Everything about it was just fantastic. One of my best cruises ever. Again, if you all have not seen my review of this cruise ship, please, I highly implore that you watch it. It was that good of a cruise, and I spent that much time on that video. I'll probably never be able to make a video that good because it really meant a lot to me. So I really just kind of sad and just took my time to make it. Plus, I was going to retire as far as making cruise reviews because they take so much out of me. But my YouTube subscriber base, they asked me to keep going, so I have. But check that video out if you haven't. This bar right here, again, this has a different vibe to it. This is more of your piano bar. So again, so far we've seen a bar, we've seen a venue that has like live performances with like a dance stage and dance floors, all that type of stuff. Then you've seen the pub, now you've seen this bar. So they have different variety of, like, I guess they have different atmospheres for different type of pubs and bars and stuff like that for what you're looking for. So if you're into music that can be played on the piano, this will be your spot. I used to come here a lot on the previous cruise on Oasis of the Seas with one of my friends. He got this peanut butter and jelly drink. It literally tasted like peanut butter and jelly. It was really good. And so this bar was the only bar that actually had it. So we would go there to do it. Right here is the Focus Photo Gallery. So again, once you actually take your pictures, or if you have pictures around the cruise ship, you would come here, just scan your card, and most likely your pictures show up. So if you want to purchase it or download it, here's your option. And not only that, you can get the crystal blocks, as you can see. And then if you have like a GoPro or something like that, you need GoPro batteries or equipment, here you go. Then coming up right here is going to be Wonderland. Now, I've only been here once, and I didn't do it on this cruise ship. I did it on Wonder of the Seas. Wonderland, if you're not familiar with it, and I have done a review of it on my channel, it's pretty much like going to a Disney restaurant. I mean, again, I used to work at Disney. I was an intern there at a restaurant, the Castle in Magic Kingdom. And it's very similar. I mean, it's just more about the experience. The food is whatever. Yeah, it's somewhat good, but the actual experience and the atmospheres you all can see, that's what it's mainly for. Now, this one is actually pretty small. So on the Quantum class ships, they're very small. On Wonder, it was double story. It was huge, but clearly they can't fit that many people in here. So if you want to do Wonderland, I highly recommend that you, especially on this cruise ship, book it as soon as possible because it's going to get filled up pretty quickly. This decor is just beautiful on this cruise ship. Oh my God. Beautiful. All right, so once I get done doing the panning of this beautiful cruise ship, we're gonna head to one of my favorite places on the cruise ship, which is Club 270. But before we get there, we're gonna walk past a couple more shops and bars and restaurants and things like that. So I'll go ahead and kind of explain what's going on over there. Again, all these panels on this cruise ship, it's just, oh my God. It's just, I have a cruise in 4 days, and it's actually on an older cruise ship. It's on NCL gems. I know they're like night and day, and so now I hate on NCL. I love NCL as well, but it's just I really wish it was on a cruise ship this beautiful, because this ship is just amazing. But here we are at Giovanni's Kitchen. So when you watch my review of this cruise and you hear about my experience here, it may kind of taint if you want to go here or not, but again, my experience is not going to be everyone's. But as far as the food here, the food was good. Obviously the decor and things like that, the theming is beautiful. I'll just kind of give you all a quick summary of what took place when I was at this restaurant. So essentially, the manager didn't like the amount of food I ordered, even though I was like, hey, I mean, he wanted to charge me additionally for it. And I said, okay, I'll go ahead and pay for it. And then he said, well, no, we can't charge you. So I'm like, which one is it? I was not wasting food. I was doing my normal food review, and I purposely got the amount of food I can actually eat. And I was able to eat everything, but he just was complaining about the amount of food because I got more than one entree. So cruise lines are doing that now. Of course, they are actually charging people for it, but this is around the time when they weren't doing that. And so he kind of, I guess I pulled his bluff and I said, I'll go ahead and pay for it. Just tell me how much I owe. And then he kind of, it was a big mess. So watch that review if you all can. It's either in my review itself, the cruise ship, and I also did a separate review of Giovanni's Kitchen. Right here at the next cruise desk. So this is where you go to book a cruise, future cruise. You'll get cruise credits if you do it on the cruise ship. I actually did use that desk, and I booked my Oasis of the Seas cruise and got I think $500 off or something like that because I did on this cruise. Right here is Club 270. So again, this is another theater. This one's actually at the back of the cruise ship. It is called Club 270 because it has a 270-degree view of the ocean. Oh, excuse me, the actual club itself is a 270-degree view. It's not a full 360, but it's 270 degrees. So that's where the 270 comes from. And that is the 270-degree pan right there. I love this. I love this so much. I truly wish Royal Caribbean had this on every cruise ship. And to be honest with you, that's pretty much what they did with the Icon class. So on the Oasis class, they previously had the Aqua Theater, but now it's actually enclosed. So it still has the water effects, but it's enclosed. So essentially, like I said, Royal Caribbean took the best from Oasis of the Seas and the best from the Quantum class, well, Oasis class cruise ships and Quantum class cruise ships, and made Icon. And now you all can kind of see the differences. This library here is actually pretty nice. Of course, it was empty. I mean, you don't see any books on these shelves, but the thought that counts. I mean, if you need to work or work from home or something like that, you can easily come here. I did see a guy that was working, so I didn't come here until talk and do my review until after he was gone. And then up here is your top tier seating. Now, where I'm standing at right now, that's where the VIP seating and also the key. So people that have the key will be sitting at. And I sat there. It was really good. For the show, they have a show on here called The Book. It was fantastic. Definitely sit in those seats if you're able to. Not all those seats are for VIP, but some of them are. Right here is a boardroom, so if you have any type of conferences that you want to do on this cruise ship, you can rent this area out. Pretty cool. Just some more designs. And now we're heading to the full room tour. Let's check it out. Alrighty, folks. So here we are, the room tour of the solo cabin here on Odyssey of the Seas. Okay, it took a while to get in here. Let's get this going here. So first to the left, you have your temperature controls. As you can see, they light up. Not bad. And then you also have your key card slot. So this is like any cruise ship. It takes any card. So I put my Royal Caribbean card in there, but you can use any card for that. I always recommend to bring a separate spare card. So you can always have it in there. And then as you all can see, this is a solo cabin. So it's just enough size for, well, the big enough size just for me. Amazing. Let me go to the bathroom. So here's the bathroom right here. This is actually a standard size bathroom that any cabin would have, so I really appreciate it. This ship is newer, so everything is nice and clean in here, which is great. There I am. And then as you all can see, they have the shower. So this isn't like Jimmy B, Margaritaville at Sea, where it's not a little curtain, it's an actual shower with doors, and then they also have the hair and body wash and things like that. So pretty cool. And then also you have different stacks of stuff as well. So nice little cubbies. cups, your sink, everything. Now let's move on. So once you step outside the bathroom, you have two different closets. So you have one over here and then one over there as well. That one's a little bit smaller. But again, this is a solo room for one person, so this is not bad at all. And then as far as your bed, so this is I wouldn't say my one complaint, but this is my one critique. It's a full-size bed, which I guess is fine for one person, but still, I mean, just come on, just put a queen in here at least. Like, come on, folks. Now, the cool thing is, thankfully, the bed is directly in front of the TV. Every time I see one of these, it makes me smile, because this is how I love my TVs to be, not when you have to turn your neck and look at it. So that's amazing. And then you have some extra cubbies up here as well. So one, and then two. This got the lift handle like a hatchback. I drive a hatchback, and I love those type of handles, so that's pretty cool. And then this is the second closet I was talking about. So it's more like storage, but as you can see, 1, 2, you got your safe. You got whatever this is, I'm not really sure. And then you got these drawers down here. So not bad. And then you got some more cubbies right here. And then bang, you got a fridge. Now as we scroll over here, so you have your little desk area. I will actually be using this quite a bit this week. But this is your desk area right here. As you can see, you got some outlets. So 1, 2, and then you got 2 USBs right there, and then you got the hairdryer outlets. Already right there, technically that's 4 outlets. And then I don't know if you all saw earlier, but there's an outlet right here as well, right beside the bed, which is amazing. So yeah, that's your desk area and this little chair. Now, what I would recommend is don't use that chair. Bring in one of those chairs and bring it in here, because this thing will kill your back. Now, here's the big thing. Now, right now, this is day 1, so we are still at port. Well, still in port. But look. A solo room with a solo balcony. Can you all believe this? And look at this balcony, too. This is a decent size for one person. Not bad at all. Now, I don't like how the lifeboat's right there, but it's technically in their view, not in mine. If I were to sit and look forward, this is all I'm pretty much seeing outside of this little area right here. This is all I'm seeing. So, I mean, technically it's not obstructed, but they can do a little bit better. People down there, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. We have made it to the pool deck. Now, usually out on the pool deck, I like to leave the natural audio so you all can just kind of hear how it is outside and hear the ocean and stuff like that. But it was so windy because the captain was like, he was gunning it over to Haiti, that it was very windy. So I had to unfortunately not use that real audio, and so unfortunately here goes just my voice. But here we are on the pool deck. As you all can see, these little like multicolored, rainbow colored chairs around the pool deck, these are all free to use. Again, they have a lot of just free seats and things like that. First come, first serve. Right here is a combined the float rider, and then also the iFlyer by Ripcord indoor skydiving thing. Those additionally, they do have an additional charge if you want like a private or a full session, or you can just do it complimentary and just line up for it or sign up for it early. And then to the left, as you all saw, it's like a jumbo pool table type of thing on the ground. That was pretty cool. And then there's a walking trail, or jogging trail or whatever. So again, this cruise ship, even though it's not the biggest in the fleet, there are so many different areas. And I mean, I am far from almost done. There's so many different areas on this cruise ship. And then right here, as you all can see to the left, they have the different hot tubs. Those are 24 hours. And right here is North Star. This is the highest, gets you to the highest point of view on a cruise ship, period. It has a Guinness World Record. So when they're actually functional, they're pretty cool, and they do have complimentary sections as well. Or you can pay for it and get a full session. It's truly up to you. There is the main pool deck right here, and if you see people in there, they are not drowning. They were actually getting scuba certified. You can do that on these Royal Caribbean cruise ships, and that was my first time actually seeing them doing it in person. That was pretty cool. And this is the back area of the pool deck, so they actually have two different areas. They have the main area, the adults only area. Where that TV was at, that's the adults only area. Now right here is the casita. This is the one thing you can actually rent. You cannot use these for free. Right now, this one does not have any people on there. But they do change in price depending on if it's a sea day or if it's a port day. And just another quick pan of the pool. I could tell those people down there are chair hogging. I could tell they put their towel down. They're about to head right back to their room. They had that look. But they do have showers all around the different hot tubs and stuff like that. So again, if you want to get in the water, you can go in there and get clean. And that's one of the infinity pools right here. I sat there and I watched the NSC Championship on my cruise. It was pretty cool. And then the pool itself. So you do have, it is a zero entry pool on one of them. And then there's the people down there. That's so cool. Look at that. Getting scuba certified. I'm telling you, when I first, it was so weird. When I was walking by, I was recording, just wasn't really paying attention. I was like, oh my God, there's somebody drowning at the bottom of the pool. So I started freaking out. And then I realized it's a group of them. What's going on? So I was like going crazy. Then I realized, okay, they're getting certified. Speaking of drowning, so you do have some life jackets over here. So again, if you have some children or adults that don't want to, can't swim that well and are scared of their safety, you can get a life jacket. And as far as getting a life jacket, it's simple. Just walk up to it, grab one, and then put it back once you're done. To the right, you do have the kiddie area. So yes, they do have a pool that's for families, but then they also have the splash away bay. So essentially, this is the child area. And then that also connects to El Loco Fresh, which is the complimentary Mexican restaurant that they have on board. So there it is, nice and simple. Now, like all the other areas on this cruise ship, this does have an open and close time as well. If I'm not mistaken right now, I believe it had just recently opened because I don't see any change or anything like that. But this is good for the young ones. I actually know it's closed because they have if you can see the yellow chains. Now, I will say this. So being that this is a smaller class cruise ship, this pool deck does get packed, like super packed. And so just kind of keep that in mind. I hate to say it, that actually would be the one negative, I will say. So on other Royal Caribbean cruise ships, when you go like on Oasis class, for example, on sea days, even though it does get packed as well, but it's still more spread out. This is a really compact cruise ship with a lot to it, so it's not necessarily that spread out. So it will be packed. I don't really have much footage on the cruise during the sea day because there was so many people. I was like, oh heck nah. So at the time, I had a balcony. I was going to the spa. I was going to Solarium. I went to everywhere else but this freaking pool deck. So keep that in mind. It will get packed on your sea days. Not the first sea day, but the next couple ones. Once the cruise is pretty much over with, it will be packed, depending on, like I said, the length of your cruise and things like that. And that's the adult pool right there. And the adult pool does have the bar as well. Lime and Coconut, they're a famous bar. So we are getting close to heading to my favorite place on these cruise ships. I know I've said this multiple times, but it's just the more and more I think about it, I really, really enjoy these different areas on this cruise. And that's the Solarium. So this is adults only. At least as of this recording, it was 18 and up. You will see some children, some teens get in there from time to time, but for the most part, the staff is pretty good about getting the kids out there. This is the spot. Oh, I love the Solarium. So this is pretty much, it is enclosed, but they can open some doors and windows and things like that to make it feel like it's not enclosed. Again, this is free of charge, first come, first serve. It does have a bar in here. It does have a restaurant in here. Obviously, it has trees and shrubbery and things like that. This is the spot out of the Solarium. And then you will see this little part that kind of threw me off when I first saw it. I was like, what the heck? So that right there, and I'll kind of do a closer up of it, but the woman, the woman that's laying, I legit thought that was a real person when I first walked in. I was like, what? I'm like, man, this woman's bold. But no, that is a mannequin. But it does look pretty, from a distance, it does look pretty realistic. Like somebody's just doing their thing, whatever. But I do like how it's multi-layered as far as like the pools, as you all can see. It's pretty cool, really cool. Now the Solarium pool does have different hours as well. The main reason why is so they can actually clean and things like that. So please, if you see a barrier, do not cross the barrier. The chemicals that they put in there will burn your skin. And that's what they're doing right now. So just like all the other areas on this cruise ship, there are plenty of places to sit. Just like on pool days, this is another place that'll get packed. I would much rather be here than on the actual pool deck when it comes to sea days. Just for me. I mean, I'll go to the pool deck here and there, but as far as actually relaxing and stuff like that, this is the spot, at least for adults. Now, what I'm walking to right now is one of the open air areas. So this is actually a very popular spot to go to during the sail away or when you're leaving ports and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. Now, it is like a wind tunnel, so that door is very hard to open, but this is the type of view you can get from the area I just walked to. Just another pan of this beautiful solarium. Now the solariums does have a bathroom. It does not have like an actual real shower. I think it has like one of the rinse off showers, but no real shower. But they do have a bathroom there. Like I said, they have a bar, they have a restaurant, which I'll show in a bit right here, the Solarium Bistro. Now, as far as the food tour, that's going to be a completely different video. I've done a complete food tour of this cruise ship. You can check it out now. It's called Everything Food on Odyssey of the Seas, or you can wait till my complete guide comes out, which is going to include this tour, a food tour. It's going to include everything you need to know about this cruise ship. Right now, this is just an actual tour of the cruise ship minus the food. And now we're heading to the fitness center. So just like the Solarium, just like pretty much every other area on this cruise ship, this is free of charge. The only thing that would be additional would be if you want to get things like an assessment, your body weight and things like that. But as far as coming here, obviously it's free of charge. This does have hours as well. If not mistaken, the hours are from like 6 to I think 11 p.m. or something like that. So 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Again, I started this tour around like 4-ish, like 5 o'clock. But once I got to the top deck, so it was more closer to 6:30, 7 o'clock, and so of course people are in here and stuff working out. This gym is stacked, and I mean, as you all can see down there, they have a yoga class and things like that. But they have free weights, machines, ellipticals, bikes, treadmills, everything you can think of. This is a fully functional gym, including a workout studio, yoga mats, yoga sessions, classes, aerobics, everything. And so, of course, I hate coming to these gyms and recording when people's working out. I'm sure that feels like I'm invading their privacy. But again, I do this for you all. I want you all to see exactly everything on this cruise ship, not just hearsay, she say. Now we're at the Seaplex. Now, one thing I want to address about this cruise ship is, at least if you go to some of the chats, and I know Facebook is for Karens and stuff like that, but a lot of complaints I've seen about this cruise ship are it doesn't have enough for kids. It truly blows my mind knowing good and well this cruise ship has the Seaplex right here. This is phenomenal for both kids and adults and everyone in between. As you all can see, this is pretty much like a sports deck that's enclosed for kids and for adults, like I said. Everything's here that you need as far as just to have just genuine fun. So of course, what I'm showing right now is they have the arcade machines and things like that. Those are not free of charge. So if you want to use the arcade, they will cost credits, which cost real money. But you have different hangout spots and things like that. And then to the right, and I'll show in a little bit, they have a huge area. And so it goes from, it can be a skating ring, it can be a place where you do bumper cars, it can be a place where you play basketball, it can be a place where you play volleyball. It changes throughout the day depending on the activities. And sometimes they actually have shows. One of the best shows that I've seen on here, at least, well, on Royal Caribbean cruise ships, it's and I put the entire video on here, but it's an adults only game where they have different challenges and stuff like that. It takes place in here, and it was so much fun. It's a video I've done on my channel. It's done really well, so I'll put a link in the description as well, so you all can check it out. But it's really cool. And then they also, in this area, like I said, I watched NFC Championships, and then they also had some basketball games going on as well. So this is Playmakers. Playmakers is one of Royal Caribbean's sports bars that has amazing food, and that'll be in my food review as well. But this area, it pretty much has it all except for kids and adults. Bars, sports, everything. And so that's the area I'm talking about right here, this big plex. And so right now they're playing, if not mistaken, pickleball. But like I said, it changes throughout the hour. They have an hour of pickleball, then after that they'll have soccer, and then they'll have volleyball. It just keeps changing. And then this is a DJ booth, so they will play music. Like I said, they have shows in here. It's so much to do in the Seaplex, legit. I really wish Royal Caribbean had this on all their cruise ships instead of their actual like sportsplex that they do that's outdoors, which is cool as well, but this one's just so much more versatile as far as what they offer and things like that. So I hope you all enjoyed this full complete tour of this cruise ship. Make sure to check out my full documentary and review of this cruise ship, and then look out for the complete guide. I'll see you soon.